And hello YouTube. It's damn, is that a cat? That is one big ass cat. I couldn't really see it clearly the way the glare was on my windshield. I thought it was a small dog in the road, in the alley. Anyway, as I was saying before I got distracted by an obscenely large feral cat in the alley, it's Friday morning, December 9th, 2022, 10:33 a.m. And I am on my way to Bullocks to pick up all my equipment. As I'll just get this done and out of the way. Grab my $2 breakfast though, because damn it, I still enjoy those. So I didn't make it in last night. As y'all saw in the last couple of videos, my sleep schedule just got all messed up from, I don't know, kind of a combination of just a difficult work schedule and really intense depression coupled with occasional insomnia. I don't know, it's kind of hard to really wrap up where things specifically went wrong. But anyway, but yeah, my last night at Amazon, which was Wednesday night, I was over 8 hours late. I have since got a low UPT push through message warning from A to Z. I looked at A to Z. I lost 8 hours of UPT. I don't know. I didn't really feel up to assessing like how much I have remaining, where I'm at with that. I don't even know. I don't know, sometimes the A to Z app is a little overwhelming and confusing, and my head hasn't been in a really good place lately. So, as far as I know, I'm not fired yet. I don't know. I need to sit down at some point and review that a little more closely. Anyway, I mean, I can maybe lower that from, I don't know, 8 hours seems kind of generous with the UPT. I mean, I can maybe lower that down a couple by using some PTO on it. I think in January is when I start getting more credit for more, start getting more PTO again. I'm not sure where I'm at. I think I'm down to like 8 hours of PTO left. Somewhere in there. I don't know. I don't know the exact numbers. I haven't really been paying attention to it. I've been trying to be a little more reliable at Amazon. Just my head's been in such a negative place. It's just been really hard to function in general. So anyway, back to the Bullocks thing. So yesterday, after I got home, did 2 videos yesterday, which probably watched those before watching this one, and this should make more sense. I did go to the, after I pretty much directly after work, I went to the Wander Inn for a drink, and I only had one drink. I hung out there for quite a while, considering I only had one drink. And all things considered, that was pretty uneventful. I think the most notable thing was Yoli telling me about how the weekend before they had a yard sale at the bar, where just different people at the bar were allowed to bring stuff down and sell it, and people were buying stuff, and apparently there was the manager of bar, whose name escapes me at the moment, had a big box of 8-track tapes, and people were looking at them, but nobody was buying them. And that it made her think of me, which was kind of sweet. And I'm like, damn. I said, I haven't been to the bar in a couple of weeks. I said, I've been working mandatory overtime at Amazon, so I just haven't had any free time to be there. You know, put that together plus my Thursday night karaoke show equals I have no free time. Wow, there's the buildings on the right, or residential buildings on the right going, that are starting to finally take shape. I don't know if y'all were able to see that in the video. Probably not. And I can see the foundation being poured for several more buildings, so it looks like it's going to be quite the luxury residential community when it goes in. Which is really interesting, because on the opposite side of the north wall of where that luxury residential community is exceptionally ghetto rental properties. I want to say fourplexes or duplexes. And I get some interesting stories about things that have happened to me in those little ghetto buildings in the past. But that's a story for another time. Anyway, did I say the time? I feel like I did, but anyway, the dashboard clock's showing 10:37 right now, so it's a minute or two later than that. So yeah, I'm right on time to go get breakfast at Pollock's. Anyway, yeah, I did tell Yelly that had somebody texted me about there being a box, actually called me or texted me about there being a box of 8-track tapes for sale down there, I would have definitely made a point to go there, at least ask them to tell me what they wanted for it and set it aside. I'd catch it, try to get down there, but I knew nothing about it. But yeah, I would have totally been interested. Of course, that's assuming there were good titles in the box. I mean, just saying a box of 8-track tapes, I have no idea whether we're talking about a box full of, say, sound-alike covers and an evening with Montavani and easy listening Christmas compilations and crap of that nature, or whether we're talking about deeper albums from classic rock bands and classic country artists. If it's the latter, I'd be all over it. If it's a bunch of random Christmas albums and Reader's Digest as easy listening compilations, hard pass on that. Wow, I just noticed that I have almost no gas. I totally forgot yesterday morning when I was getting my breakfast burrito. I meant to go over to Costco and top off my gas tank. I forgot to do that, which is fine. Actually, I can do that on the way to Bullock's. There's a Costco gas that I haven't been through in a long time. They call it the Costco Business Center over near 33rd Avenue in Grand, just south of Indian School. That particular Costco location has no food court in it, and it closes unusually early, which is why I hardly ever go to it. But it should be open right now. I cross my fingers, even though my gauge is a little bit below the empty spot. I feel like I've ran it lower than this before, and I should have enough gas to get over to that Costco, which doesn't really put me off course for going to Bullock's to get my stuff. So, in fact, I used to have one of my next to last karaoke gig was at Jay's Cocktails, which I do believe has completely gone out of business. And that, of course, didn't end well. I don't even want to revisit that in my mind, but I did get gas at Costco kind of frequently when I had the show over at Jay's Cocktails, since it was pretty much right across the street from Jay's Cocktails. And I believe I got the gig at Jay's Cocktails after I started this vlog, so So if you go back enough through my vlog videos, you can find me getting gas there. How exciting is that? Not exciting at all. All right, I'm just trying to get over to the left because the most direct route to getting over to Costco involves exiting off 10 at 19th Avenue, going up Grand. So I'm trying to get over there. Even during the middle of the day, this is one of those kind of trouble spots with traffic. The Phoenix Metro has just grown so far beyond what these freeways were ever intended to handle. And yet, all things considered, compared to other cities I've driven around in, the traffic still here is not bad at all. So it sucks compared to what I'm used to and what my experience is of driving here for nearly 20 years as a cab driver. So anyway, I should probably try to focus on what happened yesterday. Since the 8-track box of 8-track tapes that I missed out on the water and yard sale is probably the least relevant thing that happened yesterday. So assuming that you watched the last two videos, no need to really recap what happened in those. The last one ended with me getting home a little bit past the time I normally go to sleep, but granted, I had only woken up a few hours before then at like 2:15 a.m. So my sleep schedule completely whacked. I did try one of those. We got the semi taking up both lanes here. Fabulous. Wow. That jackass with the Mitsubishi honking his horn. Because I wasn't willing to crowd the semi the way he was. Well, that's alright. Wow, I wonder what's going on the left here. All the buildings that used to be there have been cleared out. There's some kind of digging going on for something going in. Used to be like a warehouse type building right here on the left. It's gone. Only went in there a couple of times. They basically dealt in clearance of furniture and electronics from hotels. So yeah, really good deals on what they had. It was never anything I had any need of. But it was certainly an interesting store, and I enjoyed browsing through it the couple times I went. Anyway, I'm getting distracted again. Trying to focus on what happened after I got home. So I did say I was ready for another drink, and I was definitely ready for another drink. Never really been fond of drinking alone. I feel like social drinking is generally a good thing, and drinking when you're in a social environment and you're somebody as socially awkward as myself, to kind of socially lubricate myself is generally a good thing. But drinking alone, not so much. So I try not to fall into that trap, but I did yesterday. Not like I drank myself into oblivion or anything like that. I actually tried one of those Orange Julius microbrew 16-ounce can beers that I mentioned getting earlier in the week, and oh man, not at all what I was expecting. It's a very, very bitter ale. Pretty awful, and I still have 3 more of those to consume. So, and I will drink it or share them with friends that are interested in experimenting with it. Because to do anything less is alcohol abuse. Although it might make a fun YouTube video to give them away to the homeless, because God knows most homeless are just that are saying we'll work for food, holding signs. What they really want is to get some booze. So that's some booze. God knows I've seen them. Those people drinking nastier stuff. So there you go. Anyway, speaking of most people, quite the homeless encampments here on the right. It's always so different when I get over here to the west side. There's the Alaskan Bush Company. I wonder if my daughter's applied to work there. So, Priscilla came over this morning. She asked how long it had been since I've heard from Allison, and I told her it's been a while. And I actually looked at my phone and checked the date, and it was, I know it was sometime in November. So, so far I haven't heard her at all in December. She's like, well, have you tried to contact her? And admittedly, I haven't. I feel like the last couple of conversations I had with her was so negative, I just don't even, I don't know. I guess the reality is I'm not really parental material, and I probably should have never had kids to begin with. So there's that. Anyway, yesterday, there was the beer. It was pretty awful. I don't even think I drank the whole thing. I drank most of it, though. Along with my Circle K water, which I had got, and my Sip and Save drink on the place that insisted that the bugles were not on sale, and maybe they are, and maybe they aren't. I really don't know. But she sure was kind of crazy when I was like, okay, well, I don't want them then, and then walked out without paying, when if all I would have been getting was a soda, I didn't need to pay. It's really hard for places like that to get good cashiers. I get it, and the reality is they're not really paying enough for someone who would be a good cashier to want their job. Interestingly enough, I do believe that QT is, and I think that's why there's a lot better quality customer service at QT. All right, there's the Costco Business Center on the right. Some kind of construction going on the edge of it there. And I'm here, and I need to stop this and get gas. I would love to continue. Well, I guess I can keep talking while I wait in line. It looks like there's quite a line here for gas. Oh, damn. Way more of a line than I anticipated. At least the line I get in is usually a little bit shorter than the other, since my gas hole is on the right. Of course, Costco's got those long-ass hoses and encourage people to park on the wrong side of the pump, which I detest that. But on that note, whatever happened to the gas hole being under the license plate in the middle of the back of the car? Where did that go? That was convenient. Then it didn't matter what side of the pump you parked. Anyway, so yeah, I knew I needed to get some sleep before my show, or I wouldn't make it through the night. And I laid down. I tried to go to sleep. I don't know what time I actually laid down. I want to say around noon-ish. And tried to go to sleep and listen to some YouTube videos and farted around on Reddit a little bit. Nothing particularly memorable on either of those journeys. And at some point I did eventually fall asleep. And my alarm clocks woke me up on time, at the time that I would need to get up and go do my show at Bullock's. And at that point in time, I was so groggy and so tired, and all I could think about was just how completely sexually frustrated I was with Priscilla not being able to, coordinate any intimate bedroom fun time. Since I completely missed out on my Saturday and woke up in the wee hours of in the early morning on Sunday, super freaked out and depressed and in a bad headspace, and she just pretty much just was like, "Oh, you're not a priority." And so yeah, that and to be real, it's probably I'm probably watching more porn than I should, and I'm sure that's not helping either. But when you're not doing what I'm not doing, and just it's something, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so where was I? So trying to get to sleep. The alarm woke me up, and I was just the thought of going in, and then I thought about how my last two shows have gone, both of them just with my mental health being in such a bad place and my sexual frustration being in such a bad place, that both shows were just incredibly miserable experiences for me, that by the end of the night had me so distraught that I was struggling trying to differentiate between things that people were actually saying to me and then the noise in my head. I was just so upset and distraught that I couldn't really keep a handle on that. And then I haven't been drinking because I can't. The bar just, it's so busy that I can't get drinks. You know, even though I'm supposed to get free drinks as part of the gig, like I never get the free drinks unless I get a pitcher at the beginning of the night, which lately I haven't really felt like drinking at the beginning of the night, and Jazzy is kind enough to actually kind of keep my drinks flowing, but I can't ever manage. I generally can't manage to get to myself, so there's that. Anyways, just the last two shows for sure have just been absolutely miserable. I mean, to the point of just like by the end of the show, by the time I'm playing the closing song by Red Peters, I'm literally curling up in the fetal position on the floor behind Cat's equipment, and just and literally needing between 10 and 30 minutes of just crying it out just to get to where I feel good enough to walk up to the bar to get my measly $125. And I've already done the math, and that was before my last 40-cent an hour raise. In fact, I think it was before my last 40-cent an hour raise and my 25-cent an hour raise. So I've got 65 cents an hour raise since then. As to how much money I'm losing by doing, you know, and of course there's the as a general rule, the crowd at Bullock's just simply doesn't tip. I mean, it's kind of easy to point a racial finger at that. I'm trying not to do that, but that's certainly a stereotype that's playing itself out. But yeah, nobody really tips there. And then the few people that do tip, the tips are really small, and they seem to think that like I Milwaukee Black at the last show tipped me two whole dollars, which isn't even enough to get a gallon of gasoline. In fact, it barely buys it's not even enough to get a half gallon of gasoline. Does he think I drive a weed eater? But seemed to think that was so much of a tip that I should push him ahead of everybody else. And then I went ahead and did it, just because, well, fuck it, at least he gave me $2, and that's $2 more than all the rest of these people are giving me, so fuck it. I don't give a fuck anymore. It's easier than listening to him bitch and complain. I just want him to go sit down and quit talking to me. So yeah, doing the show has just become absolutely miserable for me. So as I thought about that, and I'm just like, yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, it's $250 or $125 a night. That's about $500 a month of my income that I'm going to lose. And I'm thinking, yeah, but on the same token, I keep getting these mandatory overnight shifts that pay twice as much from Amazon that I'm having to reschedule to either a Friday or a Saturday, which has been a source of considerable stress, which more than covers it, although I've been getting that money. But I could certainly work an additional overtime shift on top of that, but it'd just be nice to not stress about it. Anyway, the more I thought about it, I'm just like, I just can't even deal with it. And maybe I should have called the bar, and maybe I should have called the owner, and maybe I should have called the bar and just said, look, I'm in a bad headspace, and I can't do it tonight. I'm sorry, but I just don't feel like my mental health issues are as understood by them as they have been by other bars I've worked at in the past. And welcome back, YouTube. Well, I got a full tank of gas. That's one less thing to worry about. It is 10:59 a.m. I think I can get breakfast anytime up until noon at Bullock's. Even if not, I think Heather will hook me up, even when I tell her I get fired. Part of me is thinking I should really try to talk to Jim and explain where I'm coming from, but I just don't. I don't feel he'll. Based on the 2 text messages I got from him, I just don't. I don't think he'll understand at this point. I think it'd probably be in everyone's best interest if I quit. I quit. I mean, he fired me. I got a text message from him. I'm fired. But you know what I mean? Sorry, pickup truck. Just gonna cut that truck right off. Oh, he was turning left. So, used to be a Flawless clothing store on the right here. Kind of bummed they closed. I like shopping there. But there's a DD's discount here, which is kind of similar. Not as good of deals on clothes there. Not that I ever go clothes shopping at all anymore, other than occasionally at thrift stores. So gas prices went down. That's some pretty notably good news. Yeah, I pumped in 11.25 gallons, so that's yeah, I believe this is considered to be a 10-gallon tank, so I was definitely on the bottom of my tank for sure. But considerably less per gallon than I thought it would be. It was only $3.25 a gallon, so only cost me $36.66 for this tank of gas. I say only. It used to be like, half that. But considering that for quite a while it's been nearly $50 for a tank of gas, the fact that it's under 40 feels only. I was mentioning Jay's Cocktail Lounge earlier. I just had to swing by because I was curious what's going on here, because it looked like there was something going on, and yeah, there's definitely something going on. It looks like the awnings. It looks like the front of Jay's Cocktail Lounge has turned into a homeless encampment. I thought maybe there was something going on with the bar, but actually somebody has turned the awning right there into a shelter by encasing it with a tarp. So, damn. I was hoping maybe, just maybe it had been sold and reopened. Not that I was going to go in for a drink there, because I'm trying to get my ass over to Bullock's. But, that's kind of bringing some flashbacks. Back when I had the shows at Bullock's and at Jay's Cocktails, this used to be exactly the route I would go when moving equipment from Jay's to Bullock's. Anyway, yeah, I'm not even going to argue for my job. In fact, I'd like to read the text messages that I got from Jim. There were only 2. I take it back, there were 3. I'd like to actually read it back verbatim, but Jim being the owner of the bar. But they're on this iPhone, so I can't really. Plus, I'm driving, so there's that. But basically, he sent me one at around, I want to say 9:30-ish. And mind you, the time that I get up to head down there, my alarm clock is set for around 7 p.m. I pretty much need to get there. I figure set my alarm as long as my head is in a good space, which it hasn't been lately. But 7 o'clock alarm gives me about a half hour to get out of bed and get ready. It takes me about a half hour to get there in that time of night traffic. So I get there about 8 o'clock. It takes me about an hour to set up my equipment for the gig. Now lately something has been happening that's been very distressing to me is they've been turning on the jukebox when I should be starting my music, and then this whole awkward time passes where I want to start doing my thing, but I can't because the jukebox is on. And that's been kind of an awkward source of conflict. So I'm glad to not have to, that I don't have to think about that anymore. And it really upset me last week when Bree yelled at me and said, "Well, you need to tell me when you're ready to start." Which, if you see my stuff up on the screen, you should know I'm ready to start. Just as if I see you behind the bar, I should know you're able to take my order. Just a little situational awareness on your part would be helpful. Not like I want to interrupt her from what she's doing. She's already by that time super busy pouring Also, there's a Thursday night football angle. I really don't like being around people, sports fans during football games. All the yelling at the screen and stuff of football fans is always something that I've found very unnerving. And I'm sure that goes to my mental health issues and stuff. Just the abrasiveness of the sportscasters and their excited blah 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 ball blah blah blah, third down blah blah blah, oh my god he's blah blah blah, just that has always been something that I find kind of triggers me and puts me on edge. And then add to that all the people in a bar that are screaming and yelling at the screens. It's not a good environment. So I'm very, very glad to be relieved of that. In fact, I think in the future I'll try to do my best to avoid any taking on any karaoke shows that put me having to be in the bar while sporting events like that are going on, and with the broadcast and the stuff. I just don't want to be around it. I just really don't want to be around that anymore at all. Oh, this don't look good. Look at that. Smash truck, smash car. I'm going to go on a limb and say that the big... Ooh, that car is smashed on both sides. All right, I was going to say that the truck rear ended the car, but there was clearly more involved in that. All right, well, people always being in such a hurry. In fact, speaking of watching stuff on YouTube, I did see something interesting this morning on YouTube. It was a compilation of professional trucker, like semi-driver dash cam footage of people brake checking them. It's ridiculous how drivers are just so constantly impatient these days, and will resort to just ridiculous road rage behavior these days. Now, granted, I know I have my moments as well, but generally speaking, I try to just kind of flow with traffic. Everybody flowed with traffic and passed on the left and merged to the right when they weren't actively passing. Traffic would flow a lot smoother, and if people just kind of wouldn't be in such a hurry and would never tailgate. Of course, that's a pipe dream. That's just drivers seem to be getting progressively worse every year. Not only with the road rage angle, but just with the driving behaviors. Also, it would help if people pulled up to the vehicle behind them at red lights. That way, when the light changes, we can all go instead of having these giant gaps behind them, which is so common these days. Oh, and there went my old phone sliding into oblivion. So anyway, I was trying to explain the text from Jim. I did get a text. I got a total of three. The one came probably about 9:30. Asking if I was coming in or something like that. Now keep in mind, my alarm clock went off at 7. I would say by like a good solid 7:10, I was probably absolutely sound asleep and did not wake up again until probably about 2:30 in the morning. That looked like a working girl I just passed on the right. Kind of cute. I wish I'd have got a better look at her. Anyway, so of course I didn't respond to him, and that probably upset him, but I don't think he considers that if I'm not responding, that maybe A, I'm asleep, B, I'm dead, C, I've got health issues or whatever. Anyway, the next one I got from him was about 2:15 a.m., so it was a pretty recent text when I woke up, saying that I'm sick of this shit, and if I don't hear back from you, consider yourself fired. And I responded to that probably within 20-30 minutes, like shortly after I woke up. In fact, looking at that, I just responded and said thank you. And that was it. And he quickly texted back with, what does that mean? And I was just way too tired and frustrated to try to give him an explanation of what thank you means. I mean, I don't know, thank you seems pretty self-explanatory. It's a pretty universal expression of gratitude. Anyway, on that note, I'm going in to gather my stuff. I'm kind of hoping I don't actually run into jam. It won't take me long to gather my stuff because most of my stuff is, I've got stuff that generally stays here, and it's already packed. So I'm just gonna haul it out to the car. Although I do want to get breakfast. So, yeah, my favorite spot is available. Anyway, thanks for coming with me on the drive. And, hopefully this is a step in a positive direction for me with my life and not a massive fuck up. Because at this point, I'm not really sure.